This is A Drink with the Hurricane, the talk show discussing all things growing your home care business.
And you're like, what am I going to do? I got all this staff and everything. And everyone's shaking it, so you know what I'm talking about, right? Those are very real problems. Those are very real challenges. That's why it's so hard for people to do this. But again, I've done this before time and time again, and this is where people come together with mastermind groups. Is anybody here anybody not in the Elite Academy part of a mastermind group? Couple of them? Masterminding is fantastic. I'm part of a mastermind group. I've been a part of a mastermind group for years, right? What I love about masterminding is when I'm sitting down at a table with other entrepreneurs, other business owners who have similar challenges. We don't even have the same kind of business, but we have the same challenges. We have challenges with the people that work for us. We have challenges with finances. We have challenges with lead generation and conversions, all the same problems. But when we come together in this spirit of sympathy and harmony, that's what allows us to be able to overcome. I might be going through something that Heather has been through. Heather can then say, hey, Steve, have you ever tried X, Y, and Z? When that happened to us, we did this, and that's how we got through it. Oh, my goodness. That could save me 6 months. That could save me a year's worth of trying to figure it out on my own, which allows me to come back to my business, and then the results are, boom, $250,000, $500,000, $1 million more in revenue than I did the year before, all because of something like that. Does that make sense? Right? That's the power that it has in there, all right? And so right now, I'll tell you, if you're not part of some kind of a mastermind group, join one as soon as you humanly possibly can. Now, we'll talk more about that in a little bit, but write that down too. Freedom in your business comes from masterminding. Freedom in my business comes from masterminding. Now, I know there's a lot of challenges. One of my biggest challenges I hear from people all the time is more of a myth. I don't have time for that. If you don't have time for it, that's the reason why you need to do it, right? Because I don't have time for it. I can't afford it. That's something that people always talk about, right? I can't afford it. You're never going to be able to afford something if you don't find a way to do it. And isn't it miraculous how when we really want to do something, we find a way to afford it, right? It's just a barrier that we have in our head that we can't afford. We find a way to do it. That's what helps us to overcome, right? Or, I don't like traveling. That's not for me. All right, well, then success isn't for you, right? That's where this all comes together with these challenges in there. And my biggest reason for why I love doing this is to be able to free the business owners from their day-to-day operations so that they can then focus on that circle, that wheel that I talked about at the beginning. And then it also gives opportunities for the people that work for them to be able to advance to a new level in their careers as well. So I've been watching these people transform over the last several years doing this, following the steps that I'm going to go over right now, and it's something that I've become very, very passionate about. All right? Don't worry about that. Here are the 7 steps right here. You always start with your goal. Start with the end. What is the outcome? Where am I going? What am I trying to accomplish? Second thing is, what is my why? Why am I doing this? This is so important on the why am I doing this, because that's what's going to be your fuel. That's the gasoline that's going to make it a reality. Because if you, it's going to get hard. Like everything in life, anything worth having is worth fighting for. It's worth sacrifice, right? So it's going to be hard. But if you have a strong enough reason as to why you're doing it, that's going to fuel you through the difficult days where you don't want it, where you want to give up. Does that make sense? Right? Know where your starting point is, right? So if I know where I want to go, now let's do an inventory and see where I am right now today. Close the gap. Here's where I am. Here's where I want to be. What do I have to do to close that gap in the middle? Join a mastermind. Follow the proven plan, and then celebrate your victory.